So now we have these healthy soils, and raging around all of this bubble is soil biology, which I'll get to about halfway through the lecture. It's damn important, but we have to think about getting these first things right before we start thinking about soil biology. Okay, so what are the things that make soils unhealthy? And these are the primary events. Certainly compaction is the biggest single event that happens to destroy the relationships that we're talking about. Water and drainage. Do I have if I put too much water in soil, I change that hydrology and think now about rain gardens, where I'm super loading the soil with water. I'm doing a lot of bad things to that soil. It's not a bad thing to do to create rain gardens, but I have to understand what I'm doing. And I see us sort of mucking around in that area without understanding all of the pieces and what the ramifications of all these things are. So in this part of the world, we generally have too much water, and we can kill soil with that. Sometimes you have too little, but you've got to go pretty far west before not enough water gets really to be an issue. And then grading. We can grade the soil without compacting it, or maybe we grade it with compacting it, but that's changing structure, soil biology, drainage, other issues. How we mix that soil and make various soil, engineered soils is changing all of those dynamics. We put salt on the soil and it changes the structure, changes the soil biology. And finally, fertilizers do a lot of damage to soils. So we have to understand, their role in all of this. So all of those 6 elements that are essentially swirling around the 6 bubbles in the middle are the things we have to understand in order to know how to get healthy soils. So we start out with a typical landscape site. We grade the bejesus out of it. We compact the soil so it meets all the engineer's requirements. And then we sprinkle a little brown stuff on the surface. And we say, we put some topsoil back. Then we dig through the brown stuff and we plant the tree in the red stuff. This happens to be Virginia. In your part of the world, it's probably not red, but it's the same principle. This just happens to be a good slide because the color changed. But the point is that big pile of red stuff that's sitting at the base of that tree that was sort of dug out of the hole is what the tree is growing in. Compacted red material, which you could call soil. But have we done anything to allow that tree to do anything other than escape out of that hole, go up into that brown stuff, and sort of grow along the surface? Which is essentially what is going to happen unless we're lucky and the engineer didn't quite get the compaction in that soil correct. They're usually better at getting their part right than we are. So how do we fix this problem in a different way? Now the first and most critical thing we have to think about is compaction. I was on the ASLA Sustainable Sites Soil Committee, and we sat around with a whole bunch of really good soil scientists and said, what do we need to worry about? And from people all across the countries, different perspectives, the one single thing we all agreed on was that compaction was the biggest problem we face in landscape soils or urban soils, that we have to deal with that.